All right, what is going on, Banter fam? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we will be diving into the crypto, gaming, and metaverse markets today as we have more funding coming into the space, and we see a little bit of green in the markets today, but I don't have too high of conviction that that green is here to stay very long. We're headed into a weekend here, and in my opinion, I just don't see this little jolt in the market that we're seeing upwards. And I'll go over why I don't think that will play out and why I think that we'll still get better prices on our watch list for our bear market gaming watch list to be able to get into those top tokens that we are looking at. We'll go over some news over those top tokens that we are looking at, as well as some games that you can hop into right now and start enjoying. So without further ado, let's get in the game.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know you don't play, but ain't a percent. If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know you don't play, but ain't a play. If you get lost, show you the way.
All right, and let's go ahead and dive right into it. If you are new to the channel, be sure to drop down and hit the subscribe button for crypto videos here every single day on Crypto Banter. As well, like the video if you enjoyed the video, if you get value out of the show, or if you are bullish on crypto gaming just like I am. And also shout out to our sponsors, Animoca Brands, one of the biggest Web3 gaming companies in the world. Unix Gaming, one of the biggest Web3 gaming infrastructures and platforms in the world, as well as MEXC, the official exchange of the In the Game show. If you want to get more information on any of those, check out the links down below in the description. And speaking of Animoca Brands, we've seen some noise being made as more money came into Animoca Brands, which I'll show in just a second, but not just the conviction within the Web3 space, guys. I talk about this all the time, how, big businesses, the biggest companies in the world, the institutions, and now you see NASDAQ publishing a reports on why you should pay more attention to the metaverse as an emerging asset class. And as you take a look here, why investing in the metaverse is more than child's play. So as they see here, they talk about how this market is predicted to be between an $8 trillion and $13 trillion market. And we're just talking about metaverse, guys. This is one of the biggest projected markets over the next timeline of 5 to 10 years. I mean, the multi-decade opportunity that potentially is in front of us all with crypto gaming, with metaverse, with NFTs being integrated into businesses. I think that, if you're still here watching these videos, doing your research, and like really just soaking up all that knowledge across the board, and you're seeing the amount of money, the amount of institutional interest. And I'm not, crypto is one thing, Web3, everything, that's one thing. But the niche specifically within gaming, the amount of money, over 50% of the funding in gaming so far this year, this fiscal year, has come through into Web3, not Web2 games. Web3 games are pulling more venture capital money than Web2 games. As you see, they're running, real world businesses. The financial leaders are taking note. So this is NASDAQ, one of the financial leaders of, on not according to me, of the world, so this is just something to pay attention to. And if you are here indulging in this industry, I think that you really will be set up long-term for success in the metaverse industry, in the crypto gaming industry, etc. And like the funding that I mentioned, they raised another $100 million here, as we see Temasek aims $100 million at metaverse giant Animoca Brands. So we talk about the funds coming into, and there's no shortage of it, guys. So keep paying attention between the lines, because the smart money and some of the biggest money in the world is coming in to this industry. And then with the market, guys, we're kind of seeing a little bit of green, like I said. So we're looking at the watch list. Most tokens on my watch list, as you see on the 24-hour, which is the middle bar, they are green throughout the day. And we did see a little bit of an increase, just a couple percent in the market this morning. It is kind of cooling off. As you see, the 1 hour is red. But one thing that I don't see playing out is there was a little bit of report. The unemployment kind of shook up the market, is kind of what went down. And in my opinion, I just don't see, once again, that withholding the market with the overall climate between the economies, with the US, with China, with the inflation, because I still think that that is a massive issue. I don't think that is patched. And I still, the long standing outlook here, this is not going to be an easy hole to climb out of, all markets. And I see all markets having some more pain. I don't think real estate has seen its most pain. And I see, more traditional markets taking a hit, as well as crypto in the meantime. And I think that when you have your watch list together, you'll be able to see, which projects are dipping into those ranges, which, okay, do I want to maybe take a stab at and DCA into this? And then if it does drop another 25%, maybe I DCA, I also lower my average price. So you have to start kind of figuring out what are those prices. And most importantly, not prices, what are the valuations of the tokens that you are looking to get into? Because valuation is everything. Tokenomics is everything, right? So when you're looking at a project like Polygon, very healthy that if Polygon was to start dipping back into those low 80 cents, 70 cents, even if we really saw the worst of it in the markets, if the real pain scenario plays out where people see us going to $12,000 Bitcoin before things get better, right? If we go down to those levels, we're going to get really good discount prices on projects like Polygon, which the diluted market cap to the market cap is very, very close together. And obviously with all the Web3 games coming through their platform behind Ryan Wyatt from YouTube Gaming, as well as Dr. plethora of games coming to Polygon. One of my favorite interviews I've had on the channel was with Ryan Wyatt, just hearing his perspective on the space. And I think it's overshadowed kind of what people always talk about other blockchains a lot in the space. And I think that Polygon has really, really grabbed gaming with a stranglehold this year and really put themselves up there neck and neck with a protocol like IMX. They're the ones forging the biggest partners in the space. Literally day after day, you see these projects, all of a sudden publishing these massive partnerships, on both sides. You got GameStop, Disney, Marvel, there's so many different Meta. There's the biggest companies, the biggest brands in the world onboarding with projects like Polygon, which I think if it does continue to take hits, I will be actively DCAing on, especially off the momentum of those announcements that we saw during this bear market. I always have my eyes on Gala as well. And if that fully diluted valuation keeps on dropping here with Gala, with their 14 games already slated to launch on the platform, we talk about it all the time. I do think that they are probably that Activision type of project, the project in the space when it comes to Web3 games. So when you have your blockchains, like your Polygons, those types of protocols, Polygon, Solana, those types of projects, you have your Galas, you have your Ultras, which act as like the Steam of crypto gaming, which are some in the traditional Web 2 gaming space. Steam distributes, I think it was over 70% of the entire population of games online or offline, right? In terms of like console. So they dictate the marketplace in terms of games, in terms of PC games. Steam distributes over 75% of games, and Ultra aims to be the Steam of Web3 gaming with their recent marketplace launch for the Unix, which has been a massive success as well. This has been beautiful to see, a lot of sold out launches. And this is just the first pillar, because obviously Ultra games will be coming to the platform, which is where the biggest slice of the pie for the gamers. I think that's what everyone's looking forward to be able to hop into Ultra's app, be able to load up their interface, and be able to hop into these numerous different titles. They have so many exclusive first-person shooter, exclusive sports game, have other first-person shooter, RPGs, action games, all littered across the platform. And as you see here, they're incentivizing developers to come here way more than the traditional Web 2 businesses. And even recently talking to some Web 2 native game developers, this right here is true. Apple, Google Store, Steam, they charge you 30%. They'll charge a game a 30% distribution fee, which is absolutely ridiculous. And that's the centralized model. Ultra ticks that down by 60%. And if you go with a 3% referral bonus, or even knocks it down by 50%. And the decentralization of the model, guys, I always talk about how this industry is a win-win for gamers because they can own their assets. But this industry is also a win-win with Ultra's technology. As we see here, the revenue from these secondary sales go back to the game. And I preach all the time, you can't walk into GameStop and sell your game and then it goes back to the company who made the game, and they're the ones who really deserve the profits for it, right? At the end of the day, the people who created it, the artists, the developers, etc., they're the ones who deserve to get rewarded for their work, plain, simple, and period. And Ultra incentivizes that for their platform. So now that the unique marketplace is live, everyone's looking forward to Ultra games and everything to come in the future. And once again, at $100 million market cap, only a $350 million fully diluted, and one of the healthier tokenomics models in the space, I'm really bullish on Ultra, especially if we keep seeing a decline in the market overall, because obviously these projects are building such quality projects at the top, guys, because right now is not this is the time to be taking the crap off of your watch list. This is not the time to be adding crap to your watch list. If you understand what I'm saying, the bad projects, this is the time to take them off your watch list, not add them onto them. So when projects this quality have dropped this much, right? This is an 80%, 85% drop since the top of the market for Ultra, but nothing has changed with the protocol. We have only now gotten lower valuations and lower prices to be able to look forward to when this market plays out. And when we see these prices, I mean, on the lower 30 cents end, I mean, I would be very interested in starting to take nibbles, right? I mean, if it got 32, 31, 30 cents, I might, start considering it depending upon what the overall market climate's looking like. And your thesis needs to be ever changing. You need to be able to adapt your thought process as things are going on in the market. And our consistent thesis here on this show, my opinion has been that we are going to see those better prices, and we have for the most part seen that play out over the last month and a half or 2 months, which we have been saying, we're waiting for that to occur. Aside from Polygon's run up, we're seeing those same prices more or less. Now, we saw that little jolt in the market, and now we're right back at those levels where we had DC8 and Gala a few months ago at 5 cents, and now it's back at that 5 cent level after going up to 7 cents. I do think we go lower here, and I think we're going to see those opportunities on quality projects like Vulcan Forge, Super Farm, Seedify. These are projects. Initially with Seedify in a bull market, when the IGOs come back in the launch pad and everyone is accumulating these tokens to stake them to get those high tier allocations, trying to get those massive X's on the IGO launch pads, because that's what it's, a lot of the consumers on IGOs, they want to chase the really big returns on getting private sales, seed sales, etc. with the IGO launchpad tokens. Well, this is the access point to that with the Seedify fund. They also just did their airdrop out to holders for the Seedify NFTs token. So they're doing a lot of cool stuff over at Seedify. Obviously with Super Farm, $55 million market cap with imposters and the NFT marketplace. There's some stuff being teased behind the scenes that should be coming soon. So I'm excited to see what's around the corner for Super Farm. And overall, guys, I think that even if, and this is just realistic, on some of your favorite projects right at this moment, even if you were to keep the quality at the top, right? If you took a stab at a DCA, let's just say on a Polygon at 87 cents, let's say Polygon drops to 75 cents, and you feel that you want to, lower that average buy, you could just buy 75 cents. Then you're right back in at that 81.5 cent range, right? That's the thought process you need to play out if you want to be a safe, I don't want to miss the bottom type of investor, but I've seen a lot of people really struggle with that method in the markets. I think that right now, keep focusing on your cash flow, keep focusing on accumulating stable coins, maybe those consistent DCAs into projects, at the very top of the market. Like I just said, the quality that don't see fading away whatsoever, because I do think that will pay off long term if you're getting involved in those Ethereums like the Polygons, etc. I think that long term, that's a good play. But if you're looking for those best accumulation prices, I do think that we will see better prices, and we'll be updating you completely along the way right here on In the Game as that plays out in the future, because I can tell you, we have been through the rides of the last bull market. We have been through the rides of that whole roller coaster ride to where we are today, where a lot of these quality projects are down 80 to 85%, 90%, some of them even 95%. So we're going to be able to take advantage of these discount prices at the time, and we're going to be able to ride that next crypto gaming and metaverse wave when all this funding starts coming through with product and narrative behind it. I think that that between the lines narrative that I said at the beginning of the show with the financing coming into the space that will finally come to the surface level for the quote unquote retail, the quote unquote people who are just chasing, the narrative, whatever's hot. That really will come to the forefront and the surface when people see, oh, wow, all that funding that was coming into the metaverse, that was real. So I think that foundation is being set at this very moment for the future of the industry. So once again, I'll reiterate it. If you're in the metaverse and crypto gaming industry through all this time, throughout the ups and the downs of the markets, I think that you have a lot of green pastures in front of you as far as this industry and opportunities inside of this industry to be able to capitalize on for years to come. And then as far as this weekend, guys, if you need something to play because, the market has been stagnant and it seems like we're waiting for our thesis to play out more than anything, right? We want to see those lower prices, and I think we'll see those lower prices, but the market doesn't play out like that over the course of one day or 1 week. So luckily, we have some quality games to hop into. Phantom Galaxies episode 4 just dropped, and as you can see here, it's now available on Mac, I believe, as they announced on their Twitter as well. As the pirate factions join forces, the Rangers race to avert all-out war in the 4th installment of the Phantom Galaxies alpha. Phantom Galaxies is a legit AAA game, as you see here. The Mac users are now able to play as well, and it's one of the most polished games on the blockchain. The Halberd NFT, it's like literally like $3, I think, on OpenSea. So it's very cheap to be able to hop into this game and be able to experience a literal AAA Web3 gaming experience. And that's delivered right here by Phantom Galaxies. And shout out to Undead Blocks as well, because we talk about it all the time, how esports will find its way into this industry, into the Web3 side of things. I think that competition, Web3, and tournaments, specifically. Sorry about that. My dog is killing the background of the show there just now, but that adds a little character to it. But $10,000 prize pool here for Undead Blocks, as we see, and they do this almost every single week, guys. So shout out to Undead Blocks because they're getting sponsors to come in and sponsor the tournaments. Revenue-based model here for Undead Blocks, which is like the Call of Duty Zombies of the blockchain, and you're able to compete for cash prizes every weekend. I think it's fantastic, and it's driving competition, community-driven fun, and rewards for the ecosystem. So shout out to Undead Blocks. Hop into one of these games this weekend. They are both basically free to play. I mean, Phantom Galaxies, like I said, I think is like $3 to be able to play this game. And then Undead Blocks is free to play. If you go to Undead Blocks Twitter at Undead Blocks, you can check that out. So if you enjoyed the show, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more In the Game. I'll be back on Monday, as always, with another edition of In the Game. As always, play well, my friends.